Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, today we're going to be talking about the alien phenomena. Both alien abductions and, weird, witness captures, and even if demons are aliens. Either way, folks, let's read the first article titled, Missouri Flying Creature Mystery. Witness captures unusual aerial form photos. Let's continue. A Missouri witness submitted 2 reports involving unidentified flying forms photographed several months apart near Trenton in Burr Oak Woods Conservation Area. The images appear to show 2 very different silhouettes, including an elongated, sharply bent object over a cornfield and a dark, compact form resembling a broad-winged or triangular object above a wooded conservation area. The witness believes the photographs may document extremely fast flying creatures. However, the available imagery leaves several important questions unresolved, including distance, scale, motion, distortion, and whether conventional wildlife or airborne debris can be eliminated. Either way, let's read the case file now. Date October 15th, 2023 and May 24th, 2024. Time approximately 10:59 a.m. during the Trenton incident, not given for the Burr Oak Woods encounter, although submitted screen images display an evening time. Location Trenton, Grundy County, Missouri, and Burr Oak Woods Conservation Area near Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri. Setting rural cornfield viewed from a moving vehicle. Wood Conservation Area with grassland and open sky. Witness AB. Reported by the witness directly to Phantoms and Monsters. Phenomenon, 2 identified flying forms and a reportedly unexplained footprint. Environmental conditions. Daylight, the Trenton sky was heavily clouded with intermediate brighter areas. The Burr Oak Woods images show blue sky, scattered clouds, woodland, and open grassland. So we have a little more information about exactly where this took place. Let's read the actual witness report. Trenton, Missouri, October 15th, 2023. I was traveling to visit my grandmother at a memory care facility near Trenton, Missouri. I was a passenger in the backseat of a moving vehicle when I took a live photo of a cornfield. I did not immediately realize that anything unusual had appeared in the photograph. After capturing another unknown flying object during a later experience, I went back through my earlier images and discovered this strange form in the sky. I've never seen anything like it before. The object appears dark, narrow, and sharply bent, almost as if 2 elongated sections were joined at an angle in different frames of the live photo. Its appearance seems to change. Indeed. Could this be a living organism, or is it just an actual UFO that was seen here, folks? Perhaps some sort of, UAP drone, perhaps? That's kind of the feeling I'm getting here, folks, but that's just my own thoughts. The guy thinks this might have been some sort of, unknown life form, and maybe an unknown animal, perhaps. But let's continue. I have been told that this may be some of the best evidence certain people have seen, while others will not even consider that it could represent a real creature. I understand why people find these things difficult to believe, but I think the stories told for years about large unidentified flying creatures may have some basis in reality. Whatever I photographed appeared to be extremely fast. I believe the live photo may show its wings extended in one frame and run together in another, possibly demonstrating the strength or speed of its wing movement. And now we have the Burr Oak Woods Conservation Area, May 24, 2024 sighting. I've spent a great deal of time at Burr Oak Woods Conservation Area with my children, and we have experienced many unusual things there. During one visit, we found a footprint that we could not explain. We eventually obtained additional photographic evidence of an unidentified flying form above the conservation area. The object appeared dark and moved through the sky above the trees, and the enlarged images? It appears to have a broad or triangular shape, though it was difficult to identify due to the distance and speed involved. I do not know what it was. I am hoping that someone familiar with unusual aerial phenomena, wildlife, or photographic analysis may be able to help determine what these images show. I hope he does find someone, folks. Either way, we're going to take a look at these images for ourselves, at least the ones he's going to basically upload to us. Now, I enlarged them so we could basically see them a bit better, folks, and they are very interesting. Could they, as I said earlier, be some sort of drones? Could they basically be made by people? I mean, they're certainly very bizarre, as you can see from this one. It looks like a triangle-shaped UFO, folks, but it could also basically be some sort of mechanical, apparatus, I suppose. This one looks like basically a kind of flying, elongated tube. I've heard of other such things before, folks. I'm just trying to think of the cryptid name for these types of elongated entities. maybe, flying rods perhaps. But then again, they don't have the wings that they're typically said to have, but they do look similar. Here's another image of this flying triangle-shaped entity, folks. It doesn't look like a bird to me. Maybe it could be, but I have my doubts. Then we have this, what looks like just a literal, flying rock, folks. It doesn't look like it was just thrown up into the air. It looks like it's actually flying. But as I said, I'm not quite sure. This looks like, this could really be a kite, or some sort of flying drone carrying a kite, perhaps. Or maybe it actually is a UFO. We just can't be 100% sure. It's very strange. I will say that much, all those photos, and what the witness says about them. Either way, let's move on to the next article, folks. Are UFOs, aliens, and abductions extraterrestrial or something stranger? A Catholic exorcist raises questions that he thinks that maybe aliens could be some sort of demonic deception, that demons are trying to deceive us so we stray from God. Now, I actually believe in aliens and demons, folks, but he does raise some interesting questions. But let's continue. The UFO and alien question has moved far beyond late-night radio, fringe conventions, and speculative paperbacks. In recent years, congressional hearings, whistleblower claims, and government reports and documentary projects have pushed the subject into the mainstream. And that's not all. But not everyone views the phenomena through the usual extraterrestrial lens. We have this priest who thinks it might be demonic. So let's read on. Case filed. Subject: UFOs, alien life, evolution, theology, and possible demonic deception. Source type: lecture, conference, transcript. Primary themes: UFO disclosure, alien abductions, Catholic doctrine, evolution, spiritual deception, paranatural phenomena. Tone: theological, philosophical, critical, cautionary. Central question: are reported aliens truly extraterrestrial beings, or could some encounters be deceptive, spiritual, or preternatural phenomena? Forward by Gabriel Leal. Let's read on, folks, and hear more about what this guy thinks, or basically the argument here about what he's discussing. Are demons aliens, or vice versa? Is it all a deception, or are aliens real? How does other such phenomena, like basically evolution and maybe stuff and phenomena we don't understand, play into this question as well? Let's continue with the article and hear exactly what the priest is arguing for. The main argument: UFOs are not automatically alien. The speaker begins by acknowledging that UFOs have become a public issue. Reports are increasingly government hearings have taken place, and claims involving recovered craft, alien bodies, and reverse-engineered technology are now widely discussed. However, he draws a sharp distinction between an unidentified object and an extraterrestrial object. In other words, something seen in the sky may be unexplained, but that does not automatically mean it came from another planet. This is a point most careful UFO investigators would agree with. The term UFO simply means the object has not been identified. It does not by itself prove alien origin. The speaker argues that many UFO reports may be explained by military technology, scientific experiments, atmospheric effects, mistaken perception, physiological factors, or other natural causes. He does not deny that some cases remain difficult, but he rejects the automatic leap from unknown to extraterrestrial. Indeed, I agree with that point as well, folks, because you'd probably be mistaken if you did. But let's read on. The evolution connection. A major part of the lecture focuses on evolution. According to the speaker, modern belief in alien life depends on a specific assumption. If life evolved on Earth, then life should also evolve elsewhere in the universe under similar physical conditions. He argues that this is why so many scientists and popular commentators assume the universe must be filled with life. If the same physical laws apply across the cosmos, then planets in habitable zones should eventually produce life, intelligence, technology, and possibly civilizations more advanced than ours. The speaker rejects that premise. He argues that if evolution itself is flawed, then the entire alien life hypothesis becomes unstable. In his view, the same problems he sees with evolution on Earth would also apply to any proposed life elsewhere in the universe. I can actually agree with that, folks. If evolution doesn't exist, then why would it exist elsewhere in the universe, right? Either way, that is certainly something to consider. But let's read on, because we have so much more to get through. Entropy, genetic decline, and the problem of order. Let's continue now. The lecture then moves into the speaker's argument about matter, corruption, and disorder. He draws from St. Thomas's Aquinas and Catholic metaphysics to argue that material things tend toward corruption and dissolution. He connects this to the second law of thermodynamics, which states that physical systems tend toward disorder over time. He then applies this to biology through the idea of genetic entropy, arguing that mutations accumulate over generations and lead to decline rather than improvement. His conclusions is that life does not naturally move from lower order to higher order. Therefore, he argues evolution cannot explain life on Earth or anywhere else. This is one of the more controversial sections of the lecture. Many scientists would strongly dispute this interpretation. However, within the speaker's framework, this point is central. If life cannot naturally arise and develop into higher complexity here, then he believes it cannot do so elsewhere. I do see his point, but even I have a problem with his view as well, too, folks, and I'll discuss that later. The Catholic theological problems of aliens. The lecture then shifts into theology. The speaker argues that intelligent extraterrestrial life creates major problems for traditional Catholic doctrine. His reasoning centers on Adam, Eve, original sin, and Christ's redemption. He asks if intelligent aliens exist. Are they fallen or unfallen? Are they descendants of Adam? Did Christ redeem them? Do they have immortal souls? Are they part of the same created order as humanity? The speaker argues that Catholic doctrine presents man as a pinnacle of material creation. Humanity is, in his view, occupies a unique place between animals and angels, rational like the angels, but embodied like the animals. If intelligent aliens existed elsewhere, especially if they were superior to humans, the speaker believes this would disturb the traditional hierarchy of creation. He also rejects the idea that aliens could be the true origin of Adam and Eve, or that human life was seeded by extraterrestrials. He sees such theories as contrary to Scripture and Catholic tradition. Alien abductions and the demonic hypothesis. The most fortunate section of the lecture concerns alien abductions. The speaker claims that some exorcists have reported demonic manifestations resembling greys. He argues that certain alleged alien encounters share traits with the demonic oppression or possession cases. That is indeed a point there, folks. Some of these, cases of alien intervention do look like traditional, cases of demonic possession or, encounters with demonic entities. That is something that has been said before, folks. Now, among the parallels he lists are entities appearing and disappearing, paralysis or helplessness during encounters, beings altering the witness's perception, bodily marks, punctures, bruises, or strange scars, a focus on sexual or reproductive organs, terrifying procedures performed without consent, false religious or spiritual messages, occult knowledge or new revelation, claims that humanity must adopt a new spiritual path, encounters ending when the witness invokes Jesus Christ. Yeah, there have been quite a few encounters of aliens basically being repelled by Christ's name. Now, that doesn't mean that's all there is to folks, that they're demons either. But, as I said, we'll discuss that a little more later. The speaker does not claim that every abduction report is demonic. He allows that some may be psychological, natural, or misinterpreted, but he argues that some reports display a darker spiritual pattern. This is not a new idea. Some Christian researchers have long argued that certain UFO and alien contact experiences resemble occult, deceptive, or demonic phenomena more than nuts and bolts space visitation. That is indeed true, folks, and let's discuss this point as well as, the Heaven's Gate, cult mass suicide, where basically these people thought that a UFO was going to, come and take them away, folks. So they killed themselves to have their spirits, ascend to it. That, along with other, phenomena, basically paints the idea that maybe aliens aren't so, extraterrestrial after all. Maybe there's a demonic purpose behind all of it, actually. Because if you look at the Heaven's Gate thing with basically how it has a relationship with maybe, these people killing themselves, having a new spiritual path, looks very similar to basically some sort of demonic deception. I can see that. As well as the fact that in various cases where people have basically been given revelations by these beings, folks, a new path, that if you look at basically old stories of demonic, encounters, it really does feel similar, especially with basically, people being abducted and basically being experimented on. And basically what they describe sounds more like torture done by inhuman beings with a demonic, nature, rather than actual alien beings who you'd think would have a more scientific purpose for it all. Either way, that's my view. But now we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. you can use the link down below or in the descriptions to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure it's the part of the bell that give you all future notifications. And please, share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Until next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.